Hi everyone, Adrienne Everheart. I'm so happy to be with you here. This is how to really use your calendar and use your scheduler to attract high quality men your way. I'm actually trying to do a live on another page, and so I'm hoping that everyone can join in, and I'm going to try and send them a little link real quick. But this is just how you can really be the number one woman in a guy's life. How you can use these tools using your calendar, using your planner. This is going to shift your mindset so that you can become the number one guy in his life and really feel in control and comfortable with your experience, because that's key, is feeling in control and comfortable, knowing that you're on the right path with your partner or your dating life, that you don't feel like you're at the mercy of other people's schedules or other people's, ability to date or not date. So just bear with me, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me tonight. I'm going to get right to it. I'm just going to quickly share a link with the viewers and make sure everybody can join in on my Facebook page. So one of the things I teach is quantum dating and feminine energy techniques. Feminine energy techniques are basically a way for you to tap into feminine energy instead of masculine energy and establish yourself as a woman in receiving energy. And men actually find this very attractive and very appealing because they don't want another masculine energy partner. I always joke with everyone, if they wanted another masculine energy partner, they would be dating a guy. And most guys are not. They want to date a woman. So I teach you how to tap into your feminine energy and get in touch with how it feels to be a girl, date a man. And let's see, someone says this link is not working. Let me just try to get this link sent over really quick. They say it's not working. Guys, I don't know. I'm here with people. 1 second. There we go. It never fails when you have something all planned up and you're ready to go. The universe comes in and says, ha, 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 you're going to do things differently. So that's what we have happening tonight. So let's get right to it. And everybody, thank you so much for waiting around. Now, most of you might be feeling a little unsure and really nervous about how to date and how do I actually date and attract quality men to me. And you probably don't really like dating. You don't want to use a dating app, and you don't really understand what quantum dating is. You may not really fully grasp feminine energy or feminine energy techniques. I also talk a lot about moving up tiers in dating. And I'm going to share with you all at the end of this video the biggest mistake I ever made with a coach. And this is back in the days when I was single, and a huge mistake. It forever changed how I would operate as a coach myself. So I'm going to share that with you as well. So make sure you stick around to the end. Now, I'm going to share with you tools that instantly make things better, help you move up tiers and attract high quality men. And I'm going to just check in. Someone says, nice to see you. I'm just going to say you too, and just make sure everyone can hear me, and just say hello if you can. I'm plugged directly into my Wi-Fi. So if it's not working, it might be on your end. I'm not sure. Okay, so heading back over to this, let's get right to it and how to use your calendar and your planner. For me, having a calendar and a planner is, oh, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I see you're coming in. Having a calendar and a planner is a way for me to have control over small things in my life so that I can make big things happen. Because it seems like our lives are so many little small things happening to us, and we don't really have that big picture in mind. Do I want to be married? Do I want to be married, or am I just okay if I have a partner and we just get through life together and we find each other? Is that really what you want? Or do you want to be married? So this always starts with clarity and how to make those small things all add up to a big thing happening in your life. Now, first things first, I'm hosting a class titled Fem Tools in Action, Making Love Happen. And Fem Tools in Action really teaches you how to use these feminine energy tools in your dating life. This is a class for women who want to learn how to date. Just click the link below after this video because the other video wasn't working. So if you're tuning in later, the link is right below. Also, after this video, I'm doing a premiere with my girlfriend Helena, and I'm going to link to that video as well. Again, it was in the old video, so I apologize. If you're watching, after a certain time, the links are below. So never mind everything I'm saying. All right. So what is feminine energy and what is fem? Fem is something I teach called Feminine Energy Mindset Method. It is a lot of methods. I teach you how to pack a goddess toolbox. But basically, in a nutshell, before we get going with this video, if you pursue a man, if you are dripping him in your energy, trying to figure him out, and oh, he's a Capricorn just like me, and oh, his family lives in this city, so if things work out, I'll get to go see him, and you're already planning your future, and you maybe even haven't been on a date with him, or you have gone on one date with him and you're already dripping your energy all over him. And even mental energy. You keep, looking at his profile, keep going through his pictures, keep looking at texts as he sent you. Your energy's all over him, you see. And you've got expectations, you've got dreams, desires, and outcomes in your mind. The man can feel it. Men are much more sensitive than we give them credit for. They are very sensitive creatures. They can feel our energy, even if they are miles away from us, even if they have not met you yet. They can get a sense for your energy. This is a phenomenon that I can't fully explain, but we've all been there where we feel something and we feel the tension in a room. You can sense things. And this is just how it works with feminine, masculine energy. Okay. So moving on, I'm glad to see you all showing up. Thank you so much. And basically, when you're in your feminine energy, you're not focusing all over the man and you are not having a specific outcome, which it sounds a lot more difficult than it is. But with the tools I teach you, I really show you how to navigate through this so that you don't feel focused on one man. And that brings me to quantum dating. What is quantum dating? Quantum dating in my book is 5 guys. You're always going to have a number one guy that you're really desiring. Then you're going to have a close runner-up, but there's always going to be something that you don't like about him. You'd rather be with guy number 1. And then there's guy number 3 who is just pursuing you like crazy. He's really wild for you, but you're just not into him. But he doesn't completely repel you, so you keep him in your rotation because you're practicing on him. You're learning. All right. Guys 4 and 5, these are always new coffee dates happening every week or every other week. And we're going to talk about your calendar and how to do that. Now, sometimes women say to me, Adrienne, how dare you date these men just for practice? You might as well be a prostitute. And, you're teasing these men and you're doing terrible things. Not true. Oh, hi, Helena. Yay. I'm glad you're here. Helena was actually giving me tech support before this video started. So thank you, Helena. So quantum dating and practicing is not an evil thing to do. I have never gone out on a date 1 through 5 and been like, this is the guy and I'm only going to date him. Sometimes I would used to meet a man and I'd be like, I really, really like him. I'm just going to date him exclusively. I would make my mind up to do that. And it would not work out well. When you're young, a lot of times you just meet a guy, you have one boyfriend, you date him, you're with him for several years and it works out. You're not in that boat anymore. Okay. When you get older, things change. We're not in our 20s anymore, most of us. And the men you're likely dating have been divorced or separated, and they have 2 and 3 children, and they've gone through multiple job losses, and now they have to pay alimony and child support, and so do you, and you've gone through a divorce. It's a different game. And by game, I mean that in the most nicest way. It's really, you're trying to find a partner to spend the rest of your life with. And then when you find them, you want to make it work, right? You want it to work. So if you just date one man and you love him and you're crazy about him and he's the only one, you're practicing on one man. You see? I want you to have lots of practice with lots of types of men that are going to trigger you and challenge you in ways you cannot even expect. So when your husband comes around, the man who does become your husband, you're ready. You're ready. I talk about this a lot. I had to date the biggest jerk of my life before my guy, my Jeff, came back to me, and we really worked things out. And here's the really sad part, is that I saw so much of myself in him. He was literally doing things that I had done a similar thing before. And all I could think about is poor Jeff having to endure that side of me. And I had to see that. I had to experience it firsthand. And I learned how the most important tool I possibly can, which is really being in control of myself, managing myself, and how much I just run my mouth without even thinking, without even knowing why I'm saying these things. So don't worry. I learned the hard way. You don't have to. I'm here to teach you. So that is why we quantum date. Quantum date, you get practice. Your energy is not all over one man that way. And you have time to really develop yourself and develop your tools. So when your husband comes home one day and says, I'm withdrawing $50,000 out of the savings account to go buy a motorcycle, you don't have this big knockout, drag down fight. And I'm using that as a hypothetical. I'll probably get 100 comments about, what do you have against motorcycles or something like that. But as a hypothetical, your husband will really come to you with things, or you will have problems as a couple, and you'll just be aware of how to cope with them, how to deal with them in a new way, because you quantum dated. Okay? So let's get on to your schedule and your planner. I have a daily planner. I have a daily, monthly. I keep notes in it. I keep up with everything. And I really pride myself on being organized. And it's just how I juggle a lot of things in my life, because something unexpected is always going to come along, such as, this video not working tonight. And you learn how to cope with these things and deal with them. So it does give you some sense of control, even though we are totally in out of control experiences, but it gives you some sense of it, and that you're doing the pacing. You're the one in charge of your dating life, okay? This is how you feel confident and secure in your feminine energy. So again, control over small things allows bigger things, greater things to happen for you that you want in your life. And I'm going to go much deeper in the class I'm teaching. And if you want to take this class, it is a low-cost class. Depending on when you're seeing this video, the class may have already passed, but you'll still have a link below to learn more about it, okay? So first things first, how much time are you investing in dating apps? Why even use a dating app? Why even go this route? Because on dating apps, you have access to so many men. And they are men who are on those apps looking for dates, right? So you can meet these men very easily. You're not looking for the perfect match on the dating app. You probably will find one with time. However, that's not your intention. Your intention is, I'm going to get out of the house. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have a good time. And I'm going to try dating some new types of men. Not like, oh, he's my type. He's my type. Not him. But the man that's kind of not your type. Why? Because the guys that you have been attracted to that have always been your type, things have not worked out with. So I just want you to try something new. I want you to just try something different. And then don't worry, you don't have to date him and go on 100 dates and, all this other stuff. We jump to such terrible conclusions about this stuff. So hang tight with me, hang tight. I'm going to discuss it with you. But let's start with be on a dating app, have a very short profile, talk about what you would like to do on a date, suggest a date, talk about how you feel about something that feels good to you. If your profile is full of a lot of things you don't want, you're going to pull them right to you. Pull them right to you. There's someone in this chat right now that I helped her with her profile. And one of the first sentences in her profile, I hope you're still on here. We still laugh about this. One of the first sentences in her profile was, "Do not contact me if you are into S&M." No, wait, that was the second sentence. I'm sorry. The first sentence was in all caps, "Read my full profile." So you're already having to tell the guy what to do. So out of the gate, she was getting lots of men that were just, you're already talking about sex with them. Just talk about what feels good to you. If you like yoga, fitness, health routines, eating right, if you're in love with this a particular season that you're experiencing or travel or whatever, use very short sentences, not to tell your whole life story, but give them a little taste of who you are and how it feels in your body. Just be passionate about how things feel in your body and speak from that place. Okay? Now, when you first get in touch with a guy on a dating app, it's going to feel like it takes forever to get from "Hi, how are you?" to a phone call to an actual date. And I actually teach you how to speed this up, okay? Now, I can't go that deep into all of that right now, but I will be going that deep in the class. I'm just letting my husband know the dogs are barking like crazy and either someone's breaking in the house or walking down the street or the wind's blowing. They bark at anything, but he had agreed to keep them from barking. So I'm on top of it. I said, "I'm hearing the dogs bark really loud." That was my message. Okay. So moving on. Oh, look how quickly they stopped. All right. So moving on, I go deeper into how to go from that first little bit of communication you have with a man to actually getting on a date. Now, pay attention to the thoughts you're thinking in your head before you open your dating app. Notice what you're thinking. Are you like, "Oh, what's going to be in here? Who are these guys? Oh, this guy's talking to me again." Find out what you're in touch with before you open your dating app, because I want you to just get your energy to a positive place. Now, for your calendar, plan out in your week that you only check your dating app every other day. And you only do so for anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. You're going to make it quick. This way you're going to avoid burnout. So often women will come on my free Facebook group page at I Heart Love Academy. It's free and it's private. Go ahead and join. And they'll say, "I'm totally burned out by dating apps. I got to give it a break. Who's with me?" And what's happened is you've gone in with so much investment and you've spent a lot of time that you get exhausted. So you are actually over investing even in the dating app itself. So in class, I teach you how to speed this up. But for now, just schedule it just 20 to 40 minutes every other day. Keep your mindset really positive. Stay positive when you're scrolling through profiles. And I also teach you about dating the non-applicable man, which is a man, again, he's not really your type, but the universe will put you in front of him. You will be able to align with him and go on a date very quickly and learn. Now, every time you learn, what do? You move up a tier. So every time you're moving up tiers, you're getting closer to the man you're meant to be with. You're trying to align your energy with his energy. You want this super great guy. You want him to be physically fit, have a great job, all these qualities. So there are blocks inside of you that are preventing that from happening. So in coaching, one of the questions I ask everyone is, what is the big goal? What do you really want to succeed at? And most women say they want to be married. My next question is, what is blocking you from having that? And they go, well, nothing. I like guys and I go on dates and nothing. And then they'll say, but, and then that's when the truth comes out. That's when their problem is there. So ask yourself, what is it I want to have and what's blocking me? What's keeping me from having this? Talk it out, ladies. If you can't one-on-one date, talk it out or take one of my classes. Okay? So back to your schedule. I teach you how to date on a Saturday. This is something that Helena and I both did. We use Saturdays as our date day. And you actually go on 3 dates in one day. And you're going, oh my goodness, how can I possibly go on 3 dates in one day, right? Not going to happen, not with my schedule, correct? So here's how you do it. You make that first date a short date, and this gives you your very first taste of learning how to express your feelings with warmth and boundaries with a man. And then, what do you think? Or I'm curious how you feel. Learn this formula. All you got to do is do this formula over and over and over again, and you learn how to talk to a man. So, first step is warmth, feeling statement, boundary. And then you can, if you need to, you wrap it up with, what do you think? Or I'm curious how you feel, just depending on what it is. Sometimes you don't even need those, okay? So you tell the man in advance, I only have time for about 30 minutes to meet on Saturday. What do you think? So you're letting him know, I feel so excited to meet you. It would feel really great to spend time together. Boundary, I have 30 minutes of time on Saturday at 10 or maybe at 4. Would feel so great to meet. Your warm feeling statement. What do you think? Question mark. The guy goes, no. I like to take you out to a dinner. I like to do dinner and a movie. And you're looking at this guy's profile and you're like, I am not so sure I want to sit through an entire dinner with him. You guys have watched my videos. You know all about the time that I broke my own rule and I didn't have a phone call from the guy. He showed up and he was shouting at me the whole time and spitting while he spoke. I wouldn't have seen that on the phone, but I might have heard it. Okay. Another date I had with a guy, I met him for a movie. I'm like, what the heck? I want to see this movie. I'm going to go. And then here comes his arm during the movie. Here comes his arm and he puts it on my skin and his hand was like ice. And I just turn and kind of look at him and he's just like giving me this stare. Don't do it. Go out for a 30-minute coffee date. If the guy's weird or strange, you practice on him. Why is he showing up in your energy? What's weird and strange that you're projecting about dating? You see, you learn how to ask yourself these questions. What am I doing? Am I fearful of getting in contact with weird and strange? Do I know how to handle it? Because I'll tell you, the night I went on to that movie date with that guy, and here comes the cold hand, I went to the bathroom stall and I cried my eyes out. And I remembered going to this same bathroom stall with my when I would go to the movies with my first husband. He always wanted to go to the movies. And I remember going to that stall and just being in such a huff because my partner, there were so many things wrong with my partner. And now I would do anything to be back with that partner. I had it so good and I had no idea, you see. So you learn. And sometimes we have to learn these things. We have to understand why we made these decisions. Nothing's ever good enough for me. No one's ever good enough for me. That is the old Adrienne. Now I look for the good in everyone. So these men pop up in front of you to teach you something and let them teach you. They love being on a date with you. They do not mind. And they're learning too. I'm hoping he doesn't do that cold hand to anybody else. All right. So moving on back to your calendar, you want to have 3 dates on a Saturday, each for about 30 minutes each. So I used to get up in the morning, go to the gym, and then I'd get dressed and everything. And I'd have my first date around 10:30, 11. I'd meet a guy for a cup of coffee. My next date would be sometime afternoon, around 1 o'clock or so. Sometimes I'd meet a guy for like an appetizer and just have like a little quick lunch. And then I'd meet another guy around 3 or 4 o'clock, sometimes have a glass of wine or a cup of tea or something like that and just share like a little snack. But these were quick dates. I would sometimes go from one Starbucks to another Starbucks. And I was already out running my errands and stuff on Saturdays anyway. So it made perfect sense to do it this way. And then I wouldn't come home and be like, oh, I had a bad date. I would be like, oh, I had 3 dates today. And I would put them into my dating tracker, which is something I teach in my class. And it's in all my programs at everheartcoaching.com/courses. It's in all my programs, ABCs to Get Him Back, New Man Manifesto, Unzipped with Helena Hart, and one other program. I can't remember the name, but it's in my programs, this dating tracker. You talk about when the date was, the guy's name, how he triggered you, what tools you use, and this is how you move up those tiers. This is how you stay organized with your scheduler and your planner. And you learn how to speak boundaries. You learn how to be warm with the man. You're letting him know in advance of your time limit. If he says, no, I got to take you out to a dinner. Oh my goodness, I feel so flattered. Yet I have time on Saturday. It would feel so great to meet you. He says, absolutely not, absolutely not. You must go out to dinner with me instead. That's where you need to make a decision. Am I going to let this guy lead, or I'm going to have my boundary and I'm really going to enforce it? You get to play with this stuff a little bit, you see? Okay. Now, moving on to calendars and scheduling. If a man is only dating you one time a week, or I get emails and messages from women every day who say, I really like this guy, but we only seem to date about once every 2.5 weeks, or he hasn't called me for 10 days. Is that the type of dating relationship you really want? Is that what you're looking for? Because that's what he's giving you. So keep up with your calendar when you go on a date with a guy, so you'll know whether to boot him out of rotation. Now, before you boot him out of rotation, I want you to move up a tier. Okay, I want you to move up a tier with him. And that would work something like this. This is in 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, which is my ebook. You would say to him, it feels so amazing when we're together. It feels so good to connect and go out. And I always laugh so much. I have so much fun. Yet I only see you about once every 10 or 12 days. And I'm really looking for a regular dating relationship. What do you think? Or I'm curious how you feel. And the guy goes, well, I told you I have to travel a lot and I have my kids and I just can't do that. And I'm just sorry. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm really looking for a regular dating relationship. And I guess I'm going to be moving on. And that is your call. Now, what I would much rather you do, you can have that boundary with him if you're done with him. But what I would much rather you do is, if he's going to be in light rotation on your calendar once every 12 days, then I want you to make sure you got those other 4 guys in your life, you see, because one of those guys is going to take his place. It is just a matter of time. But as long as your energy and focus is on one man who's only showing up every 10 days, or worse, he's long distance, that's what you're telling the universe that you want. So you're going to get more of that. You're going to get more men who are just scattered, not really into it, kind of flaky. That's what you're going to get more of. Okay, so I hope I made that totally clear. I'm going to move on to let me check my notes here. I know I give you guys so much information. I hope you have your pen and paper and you take notes, or you can watch this video again if you need to. So yes, that's it. If you're getting bored with a guy, he's in your rotation, you can keep him in your rotation, but peel your energy off him, get lots more men in your life, or you eventually say to him, this feels amazing, but I'm looking for a regular dating relationship. I don't feel like we're on the same page. I'm curious how you feel, or what do you think? So you see how that is warmth, a feeling statement, a boundary, and then I'm curious how you feel, or what do you think? You see, just use those tools, just practice those all the time. And you'll really be able to communicate to men in a way so they hear what's happening in your heart, and they are not the ones controlling when they get to see you, you see. All right. Now, in my class, I'm going to talk a lot more about last minute dates, how to plan dates with guys, like second and third dates, or if you really, really like a guy, but he just always calls you last minute. I go way deeper into the process for dating. So again, you'll be able to click a link below in this video, learn out about that class. Now, last thing I'm going to tell you about is the biggest mistake a coach ever did with me. And really, I believe was to blame for my second big breakup that I had with Jeff before we got back together and we got married. And here's what it was. You've all heard of circular dating or rotational dating, and I teach quantum dating because quantum is you're moving through time and space with these guys and they're interchangeable, but I do something much differently than a lot of other coaches out there. And especially if you're over the age of 35, because you don't really have a lot of time. And for you girls who are in your 30s and you still have not had a child yet, look into freezing your eggs. Make sure that this is an option for you. This is part of being a goddess on a pedestal, is that you are keeping open your options for you. It doesn't mean you're a failure if you go and freeze your eggs and save them for another time. It means you're thinking ahead and you care about yourself and you love yourself and you want to have children one day, okay? So here's the biggest mistake a coach got me to do. Jeff was back in my life. We were dating regularly. It was wonderful. He had told me he loved me and that I was the only woman he was dating. I was the only woman he was interested in. And I was like, well, great. This feels amazing, but I want to be a wife one day. And, or I really, I think at the time I was just talking about how I felt it was really important to be engaged. And he was just kind of like, well, I don't know. And he didn't know yet. He was in transition after losing his mom. He was starting a new job. And here's the thing, guys' lives are kind of sometimes always complicated. Like there's always something going on in everybody's life. And there's always a reason to say no to love, especially if you're a man, because most men will say no until they are totally sure their life is going to be the better having you in it. And you have to some degree walked away from them and they feel like they might lose you. So the coach told me, that's great. He wants to date you exclusively, but you keep dating other people until he claims you, until he puts a ring on your finger. Now, there is some truth to that. However, it's okay how I do it differently, because when I did that and I kept dating other people, it just made Jeff angry. And he would never admit to me that that's why he was angry. But I would ask him, well, are you okay with me dating other people? Because I'm keeping my options open. And he'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. And it was BS. He wasn't fine. Honestly, no man is fine with it. No man is going to like it. But this is where I do things differently in the programs that I teach and in my coaching, is that if you've met a guy and you have been dating for at least 3 months, meaning for 3 months, he's been good. He's been showing up. He's been taking you out and you like him. If you can date anywhere from 3 to 6 months, this is on your timeline. I don't recommend these girls. They're like, oh, I've been together for a month and it's been amazing. I'm going to commit to him. I don't advise that. Wait a little bit longer. Keep dating him. What's the rush, right? What's the rush? Now, guys ask for exclusivity sometimes very quickly. But let him know, oh, this feels amazing, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how I feel yet. And I really want to be a wife one day. And I don't know, I just want to keep my options open. And most guys will go, okay. Or they won't like it. And that's a different conversation. I can't go into that in this video. However, if you've met a guy that you want to be with and you've been together anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and he's been on good behavior, he's showing up, he's taking you out, and he goes, well, I want you to be with just me. I want you to be just exclusive. And you've let him know you want to be a wife one day, and he said, well, I don't know I'm not ready to get married. Can't we just date each other? Can't we just see how it goes? Because that's what they'll say. You can tell him, I'm not sure. I don't know. It feels amazing. It feels so good when we're together. We're doing warmth. We're doing feeling statements. And I'm not sure. But this is when you can make the decision and use your calendar. You make that decision that you're going to be in an exclusive relationship with him for the next 30 to 60 to 90 days. And you write it in your calendar, because otherwise, before you know it, a year has gone by and you're like, we're still dating and we're not married. He hasn't even talked about it, you see? So you use your calendar and you tell him, I thought about what you said about being exclusive, and I've not been too fond of being a girlfriend. I really want to be married one day, but you know what? This feels so good. I'm going to give it a try. And you commit to him. Now, in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, you do the check-in, where you check in. So let's say 90 days from that day, you check in and say, honey, the past 3 months has felt amazing. I got to meet your Meemaw and your whole other side of your family, and we've got to travel, and this has felt so good. Where do you see us going? And you're able to ask that. And he goes, well, we're dating. I like dating you. It's a different conversation you have to have. Or if it's been 90 days and he's already flaking out on you, he's not showing up, he's hot and cold, you can revisit the situation. You can revisit and renegotiate the terms and conditions of the relationship. And that is where you say, the past few months, it's felt good being your girlfriend, and I always am so excited to spend time with you, yet I've noticed we're only going out about once a week. And what can I say? I want to spend more time together, more quality time together as girlfriend and boyfriend. And I don't feel like we're on the same page anymore. Is there something I should know? Or I'm curious how you feel. Or what do you think we should do? You see how you're putting that energy back to him so he can figure it out. And if he tells you, well, I'll try and date you more, I don't know, I'm busy at work, that's where you have to go back and say to him, I'm crazy about you. It feels so good to go out, and it's so wonderful. We have such a great time, yet I want to keep my options open. And he'll say, why? Well, again, we don't really get to see each other that much, you see. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I've given you guys a ton of information. Hi, Cece. Hello, I see you down there. I don't know if Helena's still here or not, but stick around, because at 9 o'clock, Helena and I on her channel, we're going to premiere a video. This is happening in the year 2019. So if you're watching this video somewhere in the future, beyond May 11th, click the link. It'll show you a link of the replay. But if you want to join us live, do that over at 9 o'clock on her video. So I'm going to stop here. I've given you guys tons of information on your calendar. Give me a thumbs up if I'm helping you. If these scripts are clarifying how to have these talks with a man in a way that you're not pushing your energy on him, but as a goddess on a pedestal, you're getting clarity. And you're not living in the dark. You're not letting the man run the show about the pacing of the relationship. You are. You are. Okay. Yeah, there's Elena. Hey. All right. So please take a moment. Give me a thumbs up. I've let you all know when you give me thumbs up, this helps that video be seen by other girls, and it gets that information out there. So please do give it a thumbs up if you like and appreciate my work. If you haven't already subscribed, click subscribe. Now I'm going to take your questions. So let's go. Any questions about dating, calendars, staying on a schedule, having boundaries with a man, putting your feelings out there, knowing how to have the tough conversations? If you can't have a tough conversation with him while you're dating, how are you going to do it when you're married? How are you going to express your feelings when you're married? You got to do this stuff while you're dating. So any questions? Thank you, everybody, for all the kudos. I'll give you guys a second to type in a question. I'm going to have some water. You guys need to type a little faster. All right. I don't know if anybody has any questions. That would be a first. So I'm just going to scroll up. Simple Gluten said, what do you do when all the guys you meet never look good enough and you always hate the way they dress? This sounds weird and shallow, but it's true. I get so frustrated. Okay. So how would you feel if a guy says, don't dress up like that? Don't dress that way. You don't need to be dressing that way. How would you feel? All right. So just think about that for a minute. That's a trigger coming up in your life. And if you don't like the way a man dresses, and if he doesn't look good enough, I want you to find what you can fall in love with him about. So when you can identify with one thing you can like about this man, remember when you were a kid, you would play that game like, could you, if this was the last man on earth, could you marry him? So that's what you want to do with your dates. Find something you love about them or you like about them, because this is going to shift up your energy so that it's not all like, I got to have this certain type of man. He looks a certain way, dresses a certain way. It'll shift up your energy and you will, don't get me wrong, attract a guy that you feel okay being seen in public with and that you're attracted to. It's part of it. My husband was someone that I wasn't initially attracted to. And again, I think in your 20s, that's kind of how it goes. You're like, oh, he's hot and I like him. And it just works out for a while. But when you're a little bit older, start to look for other things that are really attractive and good for you. So here's the man that became my husband. He was showing up. He was taking me out. He would call me up and plan a date with me and also plan another date with me. And he was fixing things around my house. He was making love to me all the time. He was bringing over Thai food. What is there not to love? And eventually you fall for how wonderful they treat you. All right. So someone says, looking forward to your workshop. You will sign up in a link below. Just give me a little time to post it. And thank you so much. I want you guys to show up. It's a low cost workshop and tell your girlfriends about it. It's going to be a full day event. Laurie says, I've been with my man for 6 months now exclusively. He asked me to move in and I feel I'm not ready yet. I notice he's backing off a little. How should I handle this? So Laurie, how do you feel? How do you feel? What is the fear? What's worrying you? What's keeping you from moving in with him? I personally wouldn't move in with a guy until I was engaged or either we were married. Because once you move in with them, the saying there, you're as good as his. And as long as you're going over to his house and doing what he wants to do and driving to his place, the man is just not going to pursue you and really do what it takes. You got to let him know you want to be a wife, and only you know what you're afraid of. So I don't know. You would have to tell me. Someone said, where's your bracelet? I don't need my bracelet. He's talking about wearing your bracelet on your left wrist to keep you in your feminine. But I mean, look at this dress I'm wearing. It's very feminine and girly. And with you guys, I'm in my boy energy because I'm teaching you something. But I can tap into my girl energy. I am 36 and just broke up with a guy after 16 years. Oh my goodness. I don't want to waste my time. But to me, it is really hard to start over. I don't want to go out. Amen. You and everybody else and me and everybody. I felt like such a loser for wanting someone to love and getting on a dating app. How twisted and weird and messed up is that? That I was ashamed of myself for having gone through a breakup and having to start over. I was ashamed. So again, this is happening to you. You're experiencing this. Learn from it. Just learn from this. So let's see. Jacqueline says, I'm dating 3 guys right now. Should I wait for them to ask me out every time, or how do I ask them? No, you lean back and you allow those men to pursue you. if you're doing the managing and the asking out, they don't get to get activated in their boy energy and pursue you. You see? So how are they going to claim you? How are they going to ask you to marry them? You see? If you're doing it for them now, you're going to be doing it for them forever. It takes a little while to turn the ship around, but they'll come around. Okay, I'm going to take one more question. Oh, somebody gave me a donation. Thank you. You're very sweet. I hope you can take my class because it's not much more than that. So I'll be posting the link a little later. I'm just going to scan through here and find another quick question. Kathy says, nobody's treated me that wonderfully. If that's the truth, you're going to have to find men, the non-applicable man. You're going to start right down here and get that guy. That guy's going to treat you wonderfully. You're going to keep quantum dating until you focus on the one thing that they do that makes you feel wonderful and good. Okay. This is an interesting question. So Laurie followed up with me and said, I feel at some point I'll be ready, but I'm having a hard time giving up my independence and moving back to the city I moved away from. Ew, I would not want to move back home. So this is where you need to come back with him and just say, here's what I'm feeling. I feel so excited about, us getting together and potentially living together. And it would be so wonderful to wake up in the morning and share coffee and all the good things. We're warm feeling statements, yet I'm a little afraid of moving in together. For one, I feel totally uncomfortable moving back home. What do you think we should do? Let him solve it. Okay, just see how it unfolds. Okay, last one. Renee, how do you tell a man you're very attractive and have a connection with that, but we can't have a relationship because he's not self-actualized? You're talking a language I don't understand. So you're going to have to clarify that. Can someone help me understand what that means? Because I don't know. Meki77, do you have a question before we go? And ladies, if you like this, please give it thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. Comment in the comment section. All right, if Meki's typing, I'm going to answer this last one. 123 says, okay, do you have single ladies with no kids with a cougar thing going on in their late 30s? Is that really a cougar in your late 30s? Okay. And see them more attractive. I think a lot of women are more attracted to a younger man because of the energy, because of their energy. They want to go places and they want to do things. But I don't necessarily think that, that the energy gets shifted. A younger man can still pursue you just the same way an older man does. Older men, I call them toms, tired old men's, or joms, which is jaded old men, which is where they've gone through a divorce, they've gone through another divorce, and they're angry and they've lost all of their 401k to their ex-wife and they're just angry. And that is for them to figure out. That is for them to deal with. And if they're going to be just angry and grumpy and you're fixated and that's the type of man you want, that is what you're going to attract, you see. Okay. So you have to shift up. This is something I teach in New Man Manifesto, where you shift up what you want to attract. You focus on the good and you're going to pull more of that to you. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for being so sweet and, hopping back over to this live chat, and look out for the links below to teach you about my upcoming course I'm going to be teaching. And if you're live with me tonight, go check out the video with myself and Helena, or go look at the link. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comment sections how these tips are helping you in your dating and relationship life. Okay? Much love. Mwah. Bye-bye. Bye.